Okay, so let's start by going over the discussion board guidelines, which I've already opened. The first rule is to complete the week's lessons and assign readings before you post to the discussion board. Um, Please read the instructions and questions carefully so that you understand them. If you have any questions, email me. Don't feel bad about this. I'm happy to answer questions. In a seated class, you would have the opportunity to raise your hand or ask a classmate. Online, you really don't. So please, if you need to, email me. Don't feel like you're bothering me or that it's too trivial. Um, Stay on topic in discussion. Obviously, we're talking about journaling, which is a personal kind of writing, and we're going to be sharing that, but it needs to be related to the discussion at hand. Please don't rant or indulge in tangents. If you have a complaint about the course, make it respectfully, email me. Um, don't make your whole discussion post about one thing you don't like, or make it about what we're talking about. Inappropriate posts will be deleted and the student will be reported to the college. And racist, sexist, anything mean-spirited or otherwise offensive. And this will be my call. You might disagree, but I have to keep the tone of the class in mind. Please don't copy other people's work, especially when, reading questions are being answered. It's just lazy and it doesn't do you any good. And, I read them all, so I will notice. When you answer the weekly post, please copy the questions and type your answers in a manner that makes them easy to read. So here's an example. These are this week's questions. And notice that there's two parts. So I copy all the questions, and then underneath the question, I type my answers in blue. And that just sets them off a little bit. And the reason you need to copy the questions is that the questions don't show up after the thread is posted. So someone would have to toggle or print out the questions or just guess at what is being answered, because it's kind of a pain to toggle or print out the question. So it really helps the discussion if you copy these questions. I will take off points if you don't do that. When you comment on the posts of your classmates, please give specific feedback. Here are some examples. For instance, Joe said he wrote every day, no matter how he feels, and I said I think that's great. He talked about a rule of sitting in a chair, and that he writes before he does his other homework because the writing is his most important goal. So I noted all those specifics and I commented on them. Or I might write something like this to Emily. She wrote something about deadlines and how they help her with the on again, off again problem that I also said I had. And she talked about having a self-imposed deadline with consequences administered by someone else. Her consequences were no TV, and I said I thought I might try that. So again, it doesn't have to be, a page long, but you need to talk about the specifics. Don't write something like Michelle Awesome Post. I like your profile picture. Okay, that's not what this is for. And finally, here's an example of a student starting with something that the other person said, but then going off on a complete tangent, which is maybe even a little creepy. Maybe this is something the person should be writing in his own journal entry, but it doesn't belong here. So this is the kind of thing that I might be deleting. So now let's look at the mechanics. You can click here or just click over here. And then you want to scroll down. By the way, we have the cafe where you can talk about anything if you want to write about that barista. Also do an introduction this week. And finally, the week one. You can read the questions before you enter. When you click, What you want to do is create a thread, and the questions will come up here. You can copy them here and paste them. They might have these lines. I really don't care. I care about the format in terms of making it easy for people to follow the discussion, but I don't actually care about whether there are lines or whether things are perfect. So you just answer the questions and then go ahead and highlight the text so it's a different color. And then you can save a draft or you can submit your post. I'm going to cancel this one and show you the one I already did. And again, I copied these out of Word and they got a little funky. I don't care about perfect formatting. I only care if you're in here, you can't see the questions. So if someone doesn't copy the questions, it's hard to follow. So here, I answer the questions, I highlight in blue, and then you can reply. You can use the quote feature. And finally, you can come back in and edit or delete your posts if you do so before someone else has responded. If someone else replies, then you can't delete. You can still edit. And then when you're done replying, again, you hit submit. It's pretty simple. Again, if you have any questions or problems, let me know. I can help you or tell you where to get help. And then as other people post, they'll line up right underneath these, and the comments will be with each individual thread. So that's the discussion.